Good morning, my friends. Happy Friday. How's your heart? Check in. Check in with how your heart is. I just drops my boys off at school. We walk together. It is gorgeous outside. I am feeling so deeply grateful just in this moment. You know, it's Friday. So many of us are like, fuck, it's finally Friday. Thank God. You know, my wish is that we just take every day like it's Friday in terms of enjoying our life, enjoying the presence and being here. Hello, if you're here, please say hello. If you're on the replay, please type in replay. Look at that yummy sun. So I invite you, if you're feeling, like you're like, your mind might be racing a lot, or you're feeling a little bit down on something, maybe you're feeling stuck about something, just let yourself, even if you're feeling calm, let's deepen that calm, right? If you're feeling grateful, let's deepen that gratitude. Let me share with you where I'm at. I'm in my community in Summerside, Canada, Alberta, Canada. Let's check out these geese. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys can hear me because I'm on earbuds, but so beautiful. Just noticing how peaceful this looks, this feels as you watch, I'm going to say mama and baby swim together. I don't actually know if that's mama and baby, but let's say it is. So beautiful. I'm just noticing the ripples and the water. Oh my gosh. Here's a trail. It's a path. So, how often do we stop and just go, okay, let's just drop into our breath. Let's drop into our hearts. Let's drop into home right now. No matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, that this place called home inside of you is always available to you. And your breath is the quickest way in. It's the quickest way to shift from a negative emotion to feeling just a little bit better. It might still be a little bit of the same emotion, but less intense. And as you practice being in the power of your breath, which our body cannot tell the difference between thinking about something stressful versus being there. And so our body stores all our traumas, all our developmental traumas, all those beliefs that were put on us when we were children. Before the age of 8, we form core beliefs, right? And so some of these beliefs continue to serve and support us, and some of these beliefs now limit us. It's like putting on a life jacket when you were young and still trying to fit into this life jacket when you've outgrown it. It's not quite a support for you anymore. It doesn't serve. It doesn't help you actually thrive in life anymore. And so it's time to shed that life jacket and come deeper home to you. Oh, that sun is so yummy. And we start with the power of your breath. We start with feeling into our internal world. How many of us just power through our feelings, suppress our feelings, shove them aside because we learned it's not safe to feel. We learned I mean, I grew up in a family, I'm Asian, so what are feelings in our culture? And so I didn't know that anger was healthy. I didn't know that even if they don't feel good, negative emotions are healthy. It wasn't until I went to school to learn about that as a psychologist, right? So, and so I want you to honor your feelings, even if they don't feel good. Follow your breath in. Let me just sit down. Let's guide you through a meditation. Breathe with me. You can place your hand on your heart. Good morning, Trish. I can't see the comments here for some reason. Breathing in to your heart space. Breathing the back of your heart space. This is where our love energy is stored, our compassion energy. Suspending your breath as you expand, and suspend it. And then breathing out. And as you breathe out slowly. And breathe out and imagine everything that doesn't serve or support you, any tension, any contractions, any buzzing, just starts to leave. Any busyness of the mind, put them on a cloud, let them float away. You can always come back to those thoughts later if you want. And just be here. Breathe into your heart space again. Breathing, expanding into your side body. Expanding into your belly. Suspending your breath. And then breathing out. Again, breathing out anything that doesn't serve or support you. And this calms your nervous system when you breathe out, when you take a little bit longer on the exhale. I feel like I want to give you guys some of the, if we can, the view of the water there. There we go. I'm feeling the warmth of my face from the sun. And so you can use your imagination, the power of your imagination, even if you're not sitting in the sun. We all know what that feels like to have the sun on our face, the sun on our body. So let yourself feel that. Use the power of your imagination. If you are outside, let yourself be present to the warmth on your skin. And let that warmth radiate your heart. Really penetrating into your heart space. Penetrating into the core of your body. And if there's any resistance, any buzzing, heaviness, let your breath, let this warmth start to soften it. Keep breathing into it. And I'm going to offer you these words and just have you notice what happens. There's no right or wrong as you hear these words. My love, I see you. I hear you. I feel you. So just notice if those words landed or maybe some resistance came up. There's no right or wrong. Maybe some tears of relief, of acknowledgement, of release. Maybe you've longed to hear those words for a long time. maybe some thought went, yeah, right. Whatever came up for you, just notice without judgment. We're evoking your belief system. And some of you may be ready to receive, and you already have a deep knowing. Some of you needed to hear it. And some of you aren't quite ready to hear it because there might be some other beliefs that get in the way of allowing yourself to receive love. But I want you to know, whatever came through for you is what's true for you right now. And it's not right or wrong. You get to decide. If you had a hard time taking this in, you get to go, okay, here's where the medicine is. I get to lean in and stay curious and go, I recognize I still have some self-love, self-worth. And we all do. It's always on a spectrum. It's not on or off, right? To deepen into. And we're all of us are on this journey. Myself included. And so I invite you to journal. I invite you to, over the next few days, to really feel into what came up for you, what triggers, what resistance, and journal about that. Because here's the thing, all of us, our natural state is love. Our natural state is joy, is peace. And so if there are things that are disturbing you at your very center of your core, that's something to lean into. And to know you are worthy of efforting to let go of what's no longer serving you. We should never, ever have to effort to be loved and get love. Love flows to you, through you, circulates all around you. It's here. But when we wear these lens of woundedness, we're human, of course, all of us do, okay? We all got shit. Then we resist love. And love is our natural way of being, of feeling. And when you really know that you are love, you are loved, your natural state is love, is peace, is joy, you naturally radiate this vibration. You are at this vibration, you're at this frequency. And this is flow state. And so when, we'll say shit comes in and you notice, it hits you, there's some resistance. Might be a little bit, might be a little poke, or it might be a big one. I noticed this morning, have a little bit of irritation or a heavy heart. I'm not sure what's happening. So I'm exploring that. I've been processing a lot. And I noticed I was irritable to, as we're, rushing the boys out of the home to walk them to school. I'm like, okay, Roz, instead of reacting, instead of yelling at my kids, instead of hurrying them up, just take a few moments to breathe like I just led you. I breathed, I suspended my breath. Felt really good to just conjure in this beautiful energy in my breath And then I slowly released and I said to my boys, you ready? Right? And if I allowed myself to be driven by my stress, by my woundedness, I would have projected it onto my kids. And that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when we project our shit. And I know that we all know what that feels like when we like say something like, oh my God, I want to take it back. Right? And the repair is important, and that's more important even if we make mistakes, right? I have as a mom, as a person, as a human being, of course. But we gotta like let go of our ego, let go of our pride, and take courageous vulnerability to repair, to own up, take accountability and say, I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry. And like understand why you reacted the way you did. That's the lesson. And then use hindsight, which means when you look back, it's like hindsight, but instead of, people say hindsight is 20/20, but then hindsight is like looking back and going, what's the lesson here? So next time this pops up, because it will until you master your lessons, how will I respond instead? What would that look like if I'm responding with love, with compassion, with kindness to myself, and also to the other people involved? And actually walk yourself through it. Sometimes what I do is I will actually write it out to anchor it in. I will journal as if it's already done. I will journal as if when that situation's happening or has already happened, I'm responding in how I want to show up in that next level version of myself so that this no longer becomes a problem. I will remind myself if I'm going to be entering this relationship with a person again, meaning I'm going to be hanging out with them, right? And so for me, that might be my mom. Nobody triggers you like your family members, my brother, right? And so it's like, okay, I love them dearly, but I got shit with them. And and so I get irritated by them. And I'm sure vice versa, right? And so it's like, okay, how do I want to show up instead? No matter, because we don't have control over how other people think or feel or what they say or do. But we certainly have control over how we want to respond, right? And hey, it feels fucking good to react sometimes, right? And have that adult temper tantrum. It does. But afterwards, it doesn't feel so good. So it's like connecting, aligning with love, with peace, being cognitively aware, consciously aware of how you want to show up instead, and then practicing that. Playing in your head. Again, your body cannot tell the difference between thinking about something stressful versus being there. Or something positive, something uplifting versus being there. Your body starts to calibrate towards that vision you have. And now you take aligned action. This is how manifesting happens. Manifesting means your conscious thoughts match your unconscious thoughts. That's when things align for you. That's when you make things happen. They come true. Okay? When you want to manifest something that you desire. I mean, we're always manifesting. Even the shit that we don't want in our life, we manifest that. So then you need to clean that up. Right? And that's where the medicine is. It's like, okay, so if I'm attracting this into my life and I don't like it, what about me is allowing it? What about me is showing up in this way too? What about me? And it could not be, sometimes it's not directly related to the situation at hand. It could be something over here that you need to look at. It might be a blind spot. This is why it's so important to have, I believe, mentors and coaches, therapists, healers, right? Somebody who's like here to hold space for you, who can see things from a conceptual perspective an objective perspective, that's important. We all need mentors in our life, for different things. Or asking for help, that's a superpower of mine. It can be for you too. Asking for help is not weakness at all. I always say I'm where I am today because I am not afraid to ask for help anymore, right? And that could be hired help, that could be family help, that could be whatever would support you to be of highest service, of highest frequency, of love. So there's no judgment. Hi, Chrissy. There's no judgment. When we judge ourselves. We judge ourselves so hard. We're our own worst critics. Recently, I had somebody tell me that, they're going through a transition right now in life, and they had to order food. And normally they love to cook food for their family. She's a mom, and it sounded like she was a little bit hard on herself. And I said, good for you. You figured out a solution. You're being adaptable. And of course, you're still nourishing your family. It just looks different. You're asking for help. That's beautiful. It doesn't mean it's less than. It's just a different way. And that's the thing about when we see things more so as neutral, life becomes so peaceful. And because everything is neutral until you put meaning to it. And how you put meaning to it is based on your belief system. And so if you notice you're feeling resistance or triggered by something, instead of moving into that and letting that drive the bus, ask yourself, okay, let me take a breath first of all, calm your nervous system, get your cognitive, your logical, conscious, executive brain online. Because when you get emotional, which nothing wrong with that, but we don't want to let our inner critic, our triggers drive the bus, right? And that sits at the back of our head here. It's in our brainstem, the fight, flight, freeze response. When we let that take over, God, it holds us hostage. And we do all these things and say all these things that we will regret later, right? And then we got to do a lot of repairing. Oh, what a waste of energy. Wouldn't it be so much easier just to beeline into love and come from love? I know it's easier said than done, but that's why the inner work is the most rewarding work. Because things that used to trigger you will no longer be a trigger. And so I hope that this inspires you to lean towards peace by leaning into the triggers. I know, sounds like contradictory, but it is true. If we keep avoiding, we keep numbing, we keep suppressing, we keep running away from actually the thing that we need to really look at and face, it's just going to keep popping up. It's going to keep popping up until you deal with it. That's the truth. So, I'm becoming a certified meditation teacher. This is very exciting. I've been delivering meditations. I have professional digital meditations that I sell, but I'm actually in the process of becoming certified. And so one of my homework assignments is to actually create, I don't even have to deliver it, but you guys know me, I'm going to freaking deliver, is to create a 4-week series, meditation series. And I'm still feeling into what the theme of it is. So you guys, I'm open to ideas. I was thinking about, because I've been in such a deep process of coming home to myself, I really feel called to lead a series called Coming Home to Yourself. How would that sound for you? Would that sound juicy and yummy? So I would be happy to, and I feel like that would address all themes, really. Like, whatever feelings we're feeling, whatever triggers we have, it's always about coming home to yourself. very core of any issue, at the roots of any issue, is always related to your relationship with yourself and how you see yourself and your worth. It's always related to your worth. So, let me know what your thoughts are if I was to put out a theme around coming home to yourself. And stay tuned, because I don't have any dates yet. I'm just putting this out here for the first time. And this is, even though I'm a visionary spiritual business coach, this is exactly the work I do. It's the foundation. I am not your typical business coach. I can't do it. Just like busy. No. It's all about coming home, owning your worth, being your power, your inner warrior power, expanding your soul. Because that's how you become you. That's how you give yourself permission to be you. And when you're authentically you, personally, in your career, in your business, you're very magnetic. You're magnetic to the people that are feeling called to work with you. Magnetic looks different in different ways. It's this feeling, right? And so as you see me transition, you guys, I have this bold warrior goddess sort of energy, but I should say, and as bold as I can be, as loud and as I can be, I have this softer side. It's always been part of who I am. I just haven't let this part of me, the softer part of me, still very powerful, still very strong, come out as much until now, because I haven't really connected with her so much until this whole last year, 2020. It was beautiful. COVID's been really beautiful for this. And, reflect on where were you a year ago with the first lockdown? I wasn't doing so well. If you recall, I did Facebook Lives on being angry, but like honoring the anger, not like venting, just honoring the anger and my resources, which were being extreme extrovert, connecting with my friends, going out, dancing, hookah, partying, dancing. That was all so much part of my life before. And when that was, we'll say, taken away because of the lockdown, I had to connect with my introverted self. And I was like, I got one. Well, my coach told me that, and I was like, oh, okay. And so here I am. Here is my more introverted and equally as powerful self. And I love her. I love being quiet. I actually want to go on a silent retreat, which I would have never said a year ago, right? So look how far you've come along. Look how far. Look back a year from now and tell me, put in the comments, what's the one thing you're so proud of? Yes, there were a lot of ugly, horrible things, including deaths in last year, of course, right? A lot of grief. And there's also equally as much beauty. You just have to look at that. It's all perspective. Is a glass half full or half empty, right? And I know I'm so sorry of those of you who actually experienced death of a close loved one. I'm sorry. I did too. I experienced a couple. And some weren't due to COVID. And the thing is, death is part of life. And there's nothing more than, like when we are faced with death, nothing more powerful makes us wake up. If we choose to, it's like, holy shit, life is short. If you died today, would you die with peace? Would you die with knowing that you lived your life the way you wanted? And if you're not living life, if you're not living it the way that you really, truly want, please go and be that now. Don't wait till someday or next year, or no. Life is now. Press play. Life is now. You are worthy of having a fucking abundant life, and abundance comes in many different forms. It's about freedom, first and foremost. Freedom to be who you are, freedom to speak up, freedom to show up. So are you showing up in your life? Are you showing up in your life with gratitude, with love? Do you feel peace? Do you feel flow? What's not okay with you right now? Go and clean that up. Find that mentor or coach or healer, therapist. Find someone you resonate with. Reach out to them and say, I'm ready to invest in myself. I'm ready to invest in living life to the fullest. Fulfillment comes from, here's the equation, I believe. It comes from stepping outside your comfort zone. It comes from contributing, so being in service. And that comes in different ways. I don't mean just volunteering, okay? I mean contributing to society, being in service, coming from love all the time. And I really believe, knowing that there's a higher power, that there's our highest selves, there's, we call that higher power sometimes God, Allah, divine, source, universal energy, whatever that is for you, that we are all souls having a human being experience, that we are all vessels of divine, and we just tuned in to listen to our intuition, everything shifts. If you truly, truly, deeply listen to yourself, if you stopped and stayed in silence and just listen, not to the thoughts in your head, but drop into your heart. What does your heart truly desire? If you knew you would not disappoint anyone, you would not be embarrassed, you would not be rejected, you were fully safe to show up exactly how you want to show up, what would your life look like? Okay, so I hope that you bookmark this. I hope that you write these questions down and you reflect on them. And if you're needing some guidance, I am so happy to offer an Akashic record reading with you, or, some soul session, Akashic records. I combine my previous background as a psychologist. Yesterday I had a powerful session with a client. We thought we would access just the pure Akashic records, but what came through was the method of using Haikomi, which is an experiential approach. Haikomi means, how do I stand in relationship with myself, and how do I stand in relationship with others? So it's exploring the subconscious thoughts through our body. And it's a very powerful method to work with the inner child and shift those limiting beliefs very quickly. I checked in with this beautiful soul today, and she feels so much peace. She's really struggling with letting go of a soul-sucking career and moving into something that she really, really, really deeply desires. And she was scared. I mean, I've been there. Hello. And so anything is possible. There are an infinite amount of possibilities. Love is infinite. Open your heart, open your mind, stay curious, and keep taking inspired action aligned with your dreams. Not saying that's going to be easy, but it's going to be hell. You either spend energy fighting against and be against the resistance, or working through the hardship And it's probably not as hard as you think, to be honest. I mean, my sessions with my clients are so powerful. Like, they make shifts so quickly. And it's not as hard. I even love being a client. And there's the difference between knowing something and then actually sitting in space where you're being energetically held and you're receiving the words, the energy of what you know. But it's different when someone else delivers it. It's so powerful. Your soul needs to hear, your inner child needs to hear. It's just like it shifts things so quickly. So I hope that this was inspiring for you. And I'm going to leave you with, I'm going to ask you what's your takeaway. I'm going to leave you with a light language. So I'm going to invite you to tune into your heart. Just breathing into your heart space, noticing what stood out for you in this beautiful share I just channeled. And then set an intention for yourself. Whether that's, I'm going to work on my worthiness. I'm going to work on setting better boundaries. I'm going to move towards my biggest dreams, no matter how scary it is. I'm going to make a commitment to live my life to the fullest. So whatever that is, set it up right now, claim it. And let's activate it with a light language. Breathing in. And then breathing out anything that doesn't serve or support. So watch it dissolve, watch it dissolve, watch it dissolve. We're clearing anything in the way of your path. Aligning with your vision, with your commitment to yourself, with this beautiful intention you set for you. And when you set beautiful, aligned with love intentions for yourself, you are also being in service to others. Because the more you love yourself, the more at peace you are, the higher your frequency of love, peace, and joy. And the higher your frequency, the more you radiate this beautiful essence of you. Your essence is already inside you. It has never left. You just gotta let that shit go. And remember who you are. Because now your loved ones, now your community, now the world gets to feel your true essence. That's freedom. That's contribution. That's fulfillment. And you deserve fulfillment. You deserve it so much, my loves. I love you. I see you. And if there's anything I can do to support you, let me know. You can put it in comments. You can private message me. Have a wonderful Friday. And let me know about the meditation series. What would you be interested in?